Hello, and happy day after Thanksgiving. Welcome, everybody. It's Drama Free Friday. Chance and I are here hanging out with you. I don't expect a big crowd today, but you never know. I hope you're doing well. Let me know when you're here. Let me know in the chat. Hi, Lori. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thanks for chatting, so I knew you were here. Hi, Ann. Chance is just here with me, warming the audience up, aren't you? He's purring and warming the audience up. Charlie's in the other room having a sun bath today. Hi, Wendy. From Maryland. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Candy. Hi, Nanette. Max the Bull. I'm not sure who Max the Bull is. Tell me your name. Are you Max? Carissa. Hi, Frederica. Frederica, I forgot where you're from. Are you from the Netherlands or Germany? I mean, I may have that completely wrong. Hey, Nancy. Judy. Okay. Thank you, Judy. You'll probably have to tell me that again. Otherwise, I'll probably call you Max. That might not, or Bull. That wouldn't be good. How's Carissa? How's Greece today? Hi, Joan. Hi, Sheila. You're messing everything up. You know that? You mess up everything. Yes, you mess up everything. Netherlands. Okay, Frederica. Cool. How's Joan today? How's Paul doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Hi, Nancy. If this annoys you, me saying hello to everyone, scroll past or click away because I'm here early, and so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to say hello and chat for a little bit. Yep. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you. We wish you were here, Sherry. We wish you could stay. Come back anytime. Watch the recording. Yeah, where did you get all this crud in you? I'm having to pick out of your coat. What have you been into? It's probably something that belongs to me. What did you get into? I'm trying to get enough caffeine into myself that I'm awake because I am really sleepy today. So you'll please have to pardon me. You're inside your homes, Carissa. Okay, good. Staying safe, right? Staying safe. Are you in lockdown, Carissa? Hi, Jolene. Jolene makes me want to break into song. Hi, Annette. Joan's doing well. Boston. Oh, welcome, Jolene. Your first time here? Thank you for being here. I'm scratching his ear and it's making his back foot move. Hi, Mary. Good to see you. I see Dana. Hi, Dana. Sandy. Hello, hello. That's good, Joan. You might have to do that. Joan says she might have to prod me to keep me awake. You might have to do that. Jolene's retired. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm trying to stuff enough caffeine. This is Americano, so it should do the trick. Hi, Marilyn. Anyway, and this is Chance. If you're new here and you don't know, this is Chance, the Blue Point Siamese. He's apparently taken on the job of being the greeting party. Hi, Lorraine. I don't know. Clausman should be here, but I don't know. Ray said he would be, but I don't know that he's here yet. I started a little bit early. Yeah. Chance is probably going to find something to rub his face on, because that's the next trick. That's his next trick, as he starts rubbing around on stuff. Charlie is doing better. Well, you know how we know he's doing better? Because he's asking for more food. We had trouble getting him to eat, you know. Hi, Kate. You know, we had trouble getting him to eat for a long time. I do this every week at this time, Jolene. Every Friday. I mean, there's a rare exception where I don't stream, but that's because I'm sick or something. It just happens very infrequently. Thank goodness. Knock on wood, knock on wood. But normally I'm here at this time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern on Fridays and some other days. Hi, Dorothy. Good to see you. Hi, Xandra. Welcome, Xandra. Xandra has a store, in case you guys don't know. It's called Paint and Paper Studio. I believe that's the correct name. So, Xandra, put your, I know you can't put in the link, but you can put the name of the store. I think it's Paint and Paper Studio. Hey, Chris. Anyway, with the reason that we know that Charlie's feeling better, because he wouldn't eat, don't do that. Don't do that. You can't show your hiney to the world. I won't have it. Yeah, you can put your head over here, and that's it. He was not feeling good at all for so long, and he had a really hard time. Xandra, would you type it in the chat? That way people will know exactly what it is. Hi, Gail. Hi, Tracy. He was feeling so bad for so long that he wouldn't eat, and so that was getting to be a real source of concern to me. Now, he is complaining because he's not getting enough, so he's feeling better. Oh, so Xandra's having a sale, 15% off. The code is thanks for 15% off sale. Good, excellent, excellent. Clausman's here. That's great. So I didn't even know you were having a sale, Xandra, so that was great. I'm glad you showed up so I could promote it. Me too, Lori. We just celebrate every day that we have together. I mean, he seems like he's doing well. He's talking more. He is exhibiting normal behaviors, including, as Ann Lar says, what does she call that? The puke fest? Is that what you called it, Ann? I think for Charlie, that's normal. He's not doing it as much as he was. He's back to coughing somewhat, which is what started this entire cycle, the coughing. Anyway, some of those things have improved, but some of them are kind of back a little bit. Yeah, that's what Ann called it, the puke fest. Hi, Angie. Yeah, so Charlie has a bit of a weak tummy, and this one has a little bit too. I have a little thing called the Little Green Clean Machine. And it does a pretty good job getting cat stains out of this carpet, because the carpet that's in here is kind of a white, off-white, tan mix. Yeah. Yeah, so Olive Grease is in lockdown. Hi, Christine. Yes, it's very strange. So we have to find ways to see what we can do to make the best. Hi, Marion. To make the best out of it. And some days I just don't want to make the best out of it. Tell me you guys feel like that. Please tell me I am not the only one that feels like that. There are just some times where I just go, I'm over it, I'm done, and I just throw a fit for a little while, and I don't have a good attitude, and I get very unkind and very ugly, and I say bad things and say bad words. So then I have to just come up here and just start creating something, because if I do that, it helps. It helps. Hi, Gail. 2 Gails in the house at the moment. I'm not the only one. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It's just like, hi, Linda. It's just like I just sometimes get to a point. I can cope pretty well with most things, because you get to be a certain age and you've seen a lot of and you go, you just can't pull that on me again. Well, I've never seen this before, so I didn't have any experience to draw on. You know what I mean? I didn't have any experience to draw on, so you just sort of have to go, well, we've never been here before, so I guess we're going to have to figure out what to do. Thank goodness I am a creative person, and this time has actually given me a lot of creativity. And times like this, and I've shared this with you before, but times of great stress and great trial does one of two things to your creativity. It either explodes your creativity in a positive sense, or it shuts you down completely. And that has been proven many times. After 9/11 in this country, which was the 11th of September, the quilt market, the international quilt market happens in Houston, Texas, or it was happening in Texas. I'm sure it didn't happen this year. There were like 300 quilts created, and that was in about a 6-week period. And that is because people needed to process. And so that was the way that they did it. So for many people, it exploded their creativity positively, and for many people, it shut them down for a long time. You are blowing spit bubbles. What is that about? Spit bubbles. Come on. Really? I don't need any cat spit on me. Not really. Ugh. Anyway. Yeah, so it's just kind of crazy. Hi, Sheena. Sheena. I'm going to say Sheena, but I don't know if that's right. I'm always calm. I try to always be calm here. If I'm not calm, if I throw a fit here, I don't publish it. I don't publish it. Hi, Debbie. Yeah, I don't publish it if I throw a fit. Toronto's in lockdown. And as I say, one more time, we're just going to chat for a few minutes here, a few more minutes, because it's the day after Thanksgiving. Like, we don't do that normally. We're just going to chat for a few minutes. So if that annoys you, either scroll by this or click off now, okay? And if you want to leave a thumbs down on the way out or a thumbs up, that'd be fine. Either one's fine. Yes. Our chiropractor is from Quebec, and her mother is 96. She was telling me this Wednesday. See, I don't even know what day it is. I had to tell myself all day yesterday and remind myself last night that today is Friday, because it feels like Monday, when you have a holiday, especially on a Thursday, and I stream the next day. It's like, I have to remind myself I have to stream. So, thanks, Tracy. Anyway, on Wednesday, I asked our chiropractor how her mother was doing. She said, well, they're in lockdown again. Her mother lives in a assisted living, at 96, assisted living. It's like an apartment complex of some kind. Anyway, they'd been in total lockdown there for many months. And I mean, her mother couldn't even go outside at all. And so they would bring food, the facility would bring food and leave it outside the door, and she would pick up, open the door, get the food, and then she would return the dishes later. I mean, and so they finally the family put in a portal, and that way they could all talk to her and check on her. But she wasn't so crazy about that, because she always felt like she had to have makeup on. 96. She always felt like she had to be presentable, and so she didn't like that so much. She liked talking to them, but she wanted to do it on her terms. Anyway. So hopefully Chance's tail is not doing anything to the stream. I don't think it is. Anyway. So they went they had gotten to where they were out of lockdown. And so she was able to go out, and one of her sons was coming and taking her for a walk, and another son was coming and spending the nights with her some days and so forth. And then they were going back, they put them back in lockdown again. And my chiropractor told me yesterday that her mother went down to the powers that be, and she said, this is how this is going to be. I am going to leave every day and take a walk. Every nice day, I am going to go for a walk. My son is going to come and get me. And my one son is going to spend every Thursday night with me, or Tuesday or whatever, as he has been for several months. He is going to continue doing that with me. And my other son is going to continue doing XYZ, because my other children cannot come to be with me, and this is how it's going to be. And you can like it or you can not like it, but this is how it's going to be. And you know what they said? Hi, Janice. You know what they said? Oh, okay. At 96, she just decided to tell him who was on first, second, and third bases and how it was going to be. All right. Now, you just got to stop rubbing your head around on stuff, okay? All right. We'll let Chance have his day, his few moments here, because he is just being, sorry, bad camera work. He's just being obnoxious. He has a really terrible look on his face, but he really is not an unhappy cat. I know. Isn't that the funniest thing, you guys? It's just the funniest thing ever. Oh, I know. I agree. And my chiropractor she was just shaking her head, and she says, well, there you go. I said, yeah, there you go. Good for her. And that is my exact words to her were, good for her. Good for her. When Chance does this with his tongue, in case you just saw that, it's because he's trying to get his tongue back in his mouth. See? Like that. There's nothing wrong with him. He just can't get his tongue in his mouth because he doesn't have any teeth on one side of his head. And so he has to do all kinds of shenanigans to figure out where his tongue belongs. Hey, Joycey. Anyway, so there you go. That's the story of her mother. Yeah. So any hoot. All right, Chance, can you be done now? Oh no, I got to scratch my ear. Can you be done? Can you go in the other room and be done so we can do something? I've slurped down about half of this Americano, and I should probably drink all the rest of it. I'll do that while we continue on. Oh no, Christy, that's funny. I mean, it's funny to me, not to you. Hey, Lady Jan. Christine lives in the mountains and her cat has 100 pine trees outside, but now he's climbing the Christmas tree. I'm sorry, that's funny. If it was my cat, I'd be ready to shoot him. It's your cat. I can laugh. My granddaughter has a very ornery cat also. He's a black and white tuxedo, and he's ornery. Oh my goodness, that cat's ornery. He's very entertaining, but he's very ornery. So, he does all kinds of crazy things, and my granddaughter gets very frustrated with him. I think it's funny. Don't tell her I said that, but I think it's funny. All right, Slim. Believe it or not, he has lost some weight. I know, it's hard to believe. Now there's a pose. If anybody wants a screenshot of Chance, there you go. Chance, you're a card. You are a card, man. All right, go get in the window. Yep. I'll be right back. I have to wash off the cat dander, cat hair, and cat spit. TMI. TMI, I know. Yes. Never mind the toy. I'll take the box. That is correct. That is so right. You know the drill. Cat proof tree. Oh, hung upside down from the ceiling. That not necessarily cat proof. That could, my granddaughter's cat would see that as a great challenge. That would just be a challenge for him. It's like he would sit underneath that and he would plot and plan. He would look and he'd plot and plan how he was going to get up there. Oh, Dorothy, bless your heart. Good thing you have internet to look at, isn't it? Tell ya. They're not too far from that here, but we're so far we still have the ability to go some places. So, okay, let us do something. Let's do something. Last Friday, no, no, not Friday, Sunday. Last Sunday, wow, Lorraine, I bet you felt, going out for the first time in 7 months, I bet you felt like, how did that feel? I shouldn't say how you felt. How did that feel for you to go out after 7 months? Whoo! Wow. Wow. Before we go forward, let me just, first of all, I've just been chatting away with you. Let me formally welcome you to Drama Free Friday, which is brought to you by HowToGetCreative.com. And I'm Barb Owen, in case some of you are brand new to me and don't know. Hi, Carolyn. So I welcome you to be here, and thanks for joining me today. I really didn't think we'd have very many people today, the day after Thanksgiving and all of that, but hey, I'm glad you're here. Chance is now complaining. They get back here. This is where they would be if that door was not closed. That's where they would be, but the door is closed, and Siamese cats say no door should ever be closed. Ever. They're going to sit at the door, promptly put their mouth at the crack of the door and go, meow, because it makes a nice big echo. Yeah. Hi, Gail. We got 3 Gails in the house today. That's great. The strictest here. Wow, Dorothy. Wow. Hi, Cheryl. Or as Janet Nash calls you, Cheryl. I think you're the one she calls that. If you guys don't subscribe to Janet Nash's channel, you should. Hi, Athena. She's over in the UK. And so you should check her out. She does all kinds of fun stuff, and she's fun to listen to. She's a very, if you like my kind of stream style, you're gonna love Janet Nash. Sunday, yeah, Sunday. So Sunday, thank you for getting me back on track. Last Sunday, I was part of the Marriottier. She was here a little bit ago. I don't know if she still is, but the Marriottier puts together a stream hop, and so I was privileged to be a part of that for a 30-minute stream hop. I stretched it a little bit because I was the first one after Mary did the introduction, so I snuck in really quick, and that gave me a few extra minutes. You're Janet's Cheryl. Oh, wow, Joan. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. So let us, I'm going to show you what I was working on, and I'm going to finish up what I was doing. Then we're going to do some other stuff too, okay? Okie dokie. So I didn't get the big pieces down, the big pieces that these are based on. If you want to see what this is, you can the video from the Sunday hop is here on my channel, so you can catch it here if you want to see that. Hi, Mickey. Hi, Janice. And anybody that I didn't see. Yeah, the connections are going to be a little crazy. Refresh didn't work. Yeah, connections are probably going to be crazy. So, yeah, it's just going to be what it is, because everybody and their brother is online today doing who knows what. I'm getting jerky in the movement. All right, the rest of you having trouble with that too? Are you having trouble? I'm going to go ahead and stream. You know, if you guys have trouble, all I can do is say, I'm sorry. We're going to keep going, okay? So anyway, I did the big pieces of this, and I knew I could never do a big one. And yeah, shopping, absolutely. Hi, Barbara Clark. Okay, so it's good on some places, but not on others. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we'll move forward. So anyway, these are the pieces that I was working on showing you the idea. And this just being something that you could use as a postcard, or you could use it as a little art piece. You could use it as Happy Mail. Hi, Scrap and Oz Bev. Yes, you're here. You are here live and in person. It was fun, but I'm telling you, the thing I learned about that is I knew I was going to have trouble with the 30-minute thing. I even made myself a chart that had my 30 minutes broken into 10-minute segments, because I knew if I didn't, I would never get anything done other than say hello, and that was it. So this one is a 4x6, I believe. Ruler is here. Where do I pick up my Pellon? This, I'm sure, came from Hobby Lobby, but I'm sure you can find it online at Joann's or any other online retailer. I'm sure you can find it as well. If you can't find Pellon, then use stiff craft felt. You know, there's all kinds of alternatives. The fusible that I use that's fusible on both sides is nice, but it doesn't have to be, hey, Laura, but it's not, you know, required. There are a lot of times I don't use the fusible, the one that has fusible on both sides. So anyway, so this is a postcard size. So I just wanted to show you that you could do that. This is another one. Same kinds of fabrics, and this one measures 5 inches by, I think it's 6 1/4, 6.5, give or take, 6 3/8 to be exact. Okay, and I hope you will pardon my hands. I have a handsome crack in the end of my thumb, which is making things a little challenging. It's the time of year. Anyway, so that is how they turned out. But what I wanted to show you was this. I put the binding or the fabric on the back. I heard Pellon and thought, oh, exercise bike. No, that's Peloton, I think, isn't it? Something like that, right? Yeah, not enough time. No kidding. That way, well, that's why I get to show you the rest of the story today. So this is cotton fabric on the back. This cotton fabric is called Uncorked, and I bought a fat quarter collection of this fabric because I saw somebody else had it, and I thought, oh, I love that fabric because it looks like cork, but it's fabric. And I bought it from Keepsake Quilting. That's where I got it. Anyway, so that fabric is on the back. It's wrapped to the front, and I mitered the corners. So you can see the mitered corners. I did talk briefly about that during the Sunday hop. And so I mitered the corners and just hand stitched it down to the front. This is an alternative if you don't want to do that. And let's say you wanted to make this into a postcard, for example. this is, if you're going to do a postcard and you're going to send it through the mail, and I have done that, you need to have a light colored fabric on the back. And this is a white on white. Can you see the stars on it? So it's a white. The thing that's funny is I can see it on the camera. I can see it on the computer. I can't see it in person, the stars. Is that funny? That is weird. Anyway, so you need to have that on the back so that you can write or put your message or whatever on the back if you're going to mail it. And I didn't want white coming around to the front of my card. And so what I used instead was this is a technique that I use a lot, and it is stitching over some sort of yarn or fiber. Most of the time I twist my own, make my own cordings. This is just a single strand of yarn, but I just wanted to show you what it looked like. So it's another way to do it, especially if you don't like the concept of mitering corners and things like that. Okay? So, but you can see the difference between the two pieces. So it's like, these could be ATC size. It could be whatever you wanted it to be. And they're all just done with scraps. So all of the scraps have Misty Fuse. I put Misty Fuse on the back. So all of my scraps of fabric are pre-fused, and that takes a while to do that, to put the fusible on the back. So it's a heat activated glue. Let's see if I can see it. Can you see those like fibers? That's the Misty Fuse. That's the heat activated glue. It is not paper backed. It is like working with a spider web. But it's the one that is really, it's super fine. I know there's some other ones that have come out. I think Quilters Select was another company that has come out with a fine, lightweight fusible that you can use with fabric. When you're going to stack things up like this, like I'm overlapping a bunch of fabrics, the lightweight fusible is really a good idea. Any hoot. Okay, so there's that. So here is the green piece that I did. Okay, so there's the green one, which doesn't have its words yet. And I thought we would do that today. We'll stick the words on it. We'll just play today. We'll play till I give out. How's that? Does that sound okay? And so we have the green one, and I have the words ready to put on it. I like words on things, and I used words on the large pieces that I did. And I thought, I'm going to put words on the small ones. You like the green, Joycey? And here is the purple one. And I'm just going to call them green one, purple one, blue one. You can make up your own stories about what they mean. If you're into energy work, you'll know that there's other meanings and so forth. All right, what did I do with mine here? So what I did, the place where the words came from are from our Mandala Madness inspiration cards. This is a partial deck. Anytime anybody orders anything from me, I always send them an extra card. And so this is a partial deck of cards. And they have the words on the cards, right? So we'll take this one. I like to tear the cards apart. I know that sometimes that gives some people heart failure. But it's a great source of art supplies. I'm not kidding. And you can pull them apart. So I gotta get rid of this camera that's in my way before I knock it off the table. That would be bad news. Okay, back to this. So once you get it started, they split really easily. Now, usually one side of the card is going to be a little thicker than the other because it just depends on how much paper pulp, how the paper pulp splits up. But they pull apart really easily. And then you get twice as much for your investment. So tear them up and use them. You can do so much with the pieces. And Laura's here, this is what I was trying to explain to Laura earlier about these little frames like this. If you have the cards and you like to have one, which I always do, like to have one on my desk, and the link for these is in the description box below the video. They're the Mandala Madness inspiration cards. These little frames are so inexpensive. You can pick them up pretty much. Well, I know you can get them at the craft stores. I don't know if you can get them at Walmart. I'm sure you can get them online. No problem. And so I love these. And then the card, you know, it just slips in. See? Just slips in. So you can change it out so easily. You don't have to take anything apart. You don't have to do anything. Honestly, this one sits on my desk all the time because it reminds me. Okay, so then what you do, and you have the words are in two different sizes. You see that? The one on the left is bigger than the one on the right. And then what I do is I just tear them out. Sometimes I cut them out. Sometimes I punch them out. Just depends. But they tear out super easily, just like that. And then you've got words that you can add to whatever your project is. And it's a cool font. I don't remember what the font is, but I love this font. So that's how I did that. Okay? And so what I did is I just went through the cards and I pulled out the ones that, first of all, were green or purple and pink. That seemed like they worked for those pieces. And on this one, because it wasn't very big, I just used one word because I think everybody needs to be more playful, right? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is use some ink. And the cards are varnished. That is how they come to us, is varnished. And so because of that, they're very glossy. And so the ink is not going to really stay on the front of the card unless you let it dry for a good long while, which I tend not to do. I do like to ink the edges, so I'm just using a archival ink. The reason I have a paper towel down here is because my little sponge applicator is shedding. So I'm trying to avoid that. And then I just do like this, and that way the excess ink kind of comes off. Okay, so let me take a quick minute. You like that, Chris? Cool. The ink, this archival ink eventually does dry, but on the, see that? Sponge poop. SpongeBob Square Poop. I'll probably hack somebody off. And if you have too much, you know, if there's too much paper, if you want them to be smaller, then just tear down the size. You can cut it if you prefer to cut. I just like them with the torn edge most of the time. And then on the ones that I did, the samples that I did, I used tacky glue and glued them down. All right, so we'll set this one aside. You don't have to see all of them. Okay, so we'll do this. And see, in spite of my best efforts, it's still pooped on my mat. If you don't have this in your craft space, in your creative space, in your studio, whatever you call where you create, you need one. It's a lint roller. It works on cat hair, dog hair, and sponge poop. Okay, So let's see where we want this. These have some hand stitches on them. And this one has a particularly ugly beginning right here. I didn't do that right, so I'm going to cover it up like this. I'm just going to cover it up. Okay, good enough. Moving on. Hi, Deborah. Good to see you. So this is just tacky glue, Aleene's tacky glue. It is not fabric glue. However, if you wanted to use fabric glue, you could. These pieces will never be washed, so I'm not too picky about that. I know. I have lint rollers in the car on every level of the house. Yes, definitely multiple places. So this week, while I'm doing this, I'll tell you, we had bats in our belfry. Again, we had this happen before. Yes, bats. Now, I don't mind creatures. You know, I believe in trying to let things live. Although the moles in the front yard, I've lost patience with them. But we've had trouble with bats in the past. Bats in the belfry. They like to come into our attic for some unknown reason. They also like, we have a I don't know what you call it, just decoration on our house. It was here when we bought it 30 years ago. And it's an eagle that hangs on the front. The front of our house is brick. And it hangs there. And the bats like that. And they will, usually there's only one that will roost under there in the summertime. Because it's cool, I guess, and protected. Well, that doesn't bother me. You know, that really doesn't bother me because they eat so many mosquitoes. And, you know, it's okay with me if they do that. But they just can't live in my house, right? And we had trouble with them a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Do you know what repels bats? It's not mothballs. At least that's not what they recommend here. And I don't know that I could stand the smell of mothballs. We have used them for moles. And maybe that's what you were talking about, Sandra. I don't know. I know I was on 2 different subjects and I'm only seeing part of the chat. Because I only look up every so often. We tried mothballs with the moles because we were told that would work. That didn't. They just did a workaround and said, "Oh, you think you're going to repel us? Forget about it." So the mothballs didn't work, and I don't think I could stand the mothballs in the attic. They smell so wretched. Anyway, do you know what causes bats to leave your space? What is their repellent? Do you know? You had them in your cabin and it worked. Oh, interesting. Mint. The bat repellents that you get are little boxes and they're little pads of some sort of mint. Hi, Tanya. Cat poop. Hi, Nashua. It's mint. So you buy these boxes of bat repellent. Now, you also have to seal up all the places where they can get in. Did you know that a bat can get through a hole that's a half inch diameter? Half-inch diameter they can come in. Anyway, Clausman worked really hard several years ago, really hard, closing up all the little things. Because, you know, your house settles over the years. It'll settle and little places will open up and you're just like, you don't realize it because you just don't go around and inspect and you don't realize what's going on. And so he went around, he spent a long time making sure that everything was sealed up. Well, apparently the house has moved again. It's an older house, and so they found new places to get in, and when it gets warm, that's when they want to come in, because they want to be in that attic space where it's nice and warm. It's a whole long story, I know. Mint. It's mint. Mint gives you migraines. Oh, that's not good. I would have to put up with the migraine. I'm afraid to get rid of the bats. Anyway, I can't smell it now. I could smell it just the first day after he put them up there. I also have some electronic things coming that will affect the wiring to help drive them away. I don't want to kill them. I just want them to find a new place to roost. Anyway, I just thought it was fascinating that mint was the repellent. Mint. Not funny. Cinnamon toothpaste. How interesting. Hi, Newt. Oh, and by the way, hi, Amber. By the way, so here's how this one turned out. Okay? Like that. Okay, so there's that. Enough. So we are going to move ahead and talk about the creative challenge, because I'm going to show you some stuff. Got some samples. Bat houses are great. Oh, mint will repel mice too. Well, that's good. Hi, Sophia. I don't have any idea how many people are here, but I just want to welcome you all and say I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, they do. Bats can and do carry disease, but so do a lot of other things. So do mice and other kinds of critters. So, you know, like I said, I just want them to live elsewhere and eat the mosquitoes and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yes. Any hoot. Okay. I got some. Yeah, eat mosquitoes. And let me tell you, there's enough mosquitoes in this part of the country. Yeah. Hi, Kathy. Really? Can't stand mint. Yeah, interesting. I make your Friday? Oh, thank you. That was nice. So, in case you don't know, we opened our merchandise store after a long process. Before I get into that, I want to show you this, because this is going to be a class that it's going to be a cross between a mini class and a tips and tricks video on the website at HowToGetCreative.com. I'm going to put something on here because I hate to scum this up in case there's ink on my surface. So I know this towel is going to look absolutely cruddy, but if I put the bad side down. Anyway, I will show you these. Okay, this is like the most luxurious gift, and so I thought I would do a video, do a class about it. It's a satin pillowcase. Look, okay, it is like gorgeous satin pillowcase. So this is coming up. I'm going to film the actual class hopefully tonight. Hopefully it'll go up this weekend. Anyway, so all the seams are completely encased. Everything's encased, and it's absolutely, I'm so happy with this project. I already have pillowcases, how to make a pillowcase on the website, but because it's satin, it takes some extra love. And so there's a whole story about why satin pillowcases. But you want to talk about a really nice gift? That's a really nice gift. It's a really nice gift. Challenging, but super nice gift. So I just thought I would show that to you. And then put it someplace where it's not going to get scummed up. Okay. And the color's great too. So pretty. So pretty. Okay. Moving on. I'll tell you, anybody that streams knows how fast. I try to be really well organized when I come in here. And if Race was here, he would be laughing out loud because he doesn't think I have any concept of organization. Yeah, he doesn't think I know what organized means. But that's because I'm his mother. Yeah, satin sheets. Yeah, you can slide out of bed. But satin pillowcases? Ugh. I was given a pair of satin pillowcases, I think, when I graduated from high school. I believe that was when I was given those pillowcases. It was 2. It was a set. Nobody made them. Somebody bought them. And I thought, that's the weirdest gift ever. Why would anybody give you a set of satin pillowcases? And whoever gave them to me, I don't have any recollection of who did. I know exactly what color they were, and I know exactly how it felt. You put your head on a satin pillowcase, and it's so cool, especially in the summertime. Oh, so cool and refreshing. And it also kind of helps keep your hair from getting all messed up. So, yeah. Marion says they're great to protect your hairdo. Marion should know. I just now saw that. I just love them. I will tell you that I wore them out. Now, you have to use a washable satin. But I literally wore those pillowcases out, and I've never had any other ones. So I'm going to have one now. I'm going to have a new one. Satin pillowcases. Okay, merch. So I've shown you the stickers. So these are my goofy relatives. Many of you have watched me paint these. And so these are the goofy relatives. We have 7 sets of these. Here are the aunties. And I think I cut up all the rest of them. Let's see, did I? Yeah, I think I cut up all the rest of the little guys. So there's nephews and cousins and uncles and so forth. And then we did a set of the sentiments. And you can get them in different sizes. You do have to cut them out yourself. They're not hard to cut out. I do it when I'm watching TV. Or if you have a fancy cutting machine, I'm sure you could train your whatever your cutting machine to cut them out for you. I cut them out and leave a little border around them because I'm not going to cut up next to them. That's just too much work. Anyway, so you can use them in your journals or use them on cards. I'm going to use them on cards. Highly likely. Although I did stick a whole bunch of them in my journal. But they're so cute. This is the smaller size. Okay, so we have stickers. Here's an example of one of the cups. I got an assortment of the merchandise in the designs that we have up right now, just so you could see. So here's the cup, the Charlie cup. That's the back of it. And it's just a white mug. I am going to paint on this. I got some paint and some markers that are ones that you bake in the oven, so we'll play with that. Oh, you got your stickers in bag, Chris? Oh, good. Cool. So I'm going to try painting on this, and we're going to see how it works. I did buy some stuff. This is one of the pouches, zippered pouches. And it comes with a nice, huge tag of all kinds of directions. You know, like don't cut this out under penalty of law or something. You know, look at that. Look, there's even stuff inside. Fodder for your junk journal, right? Now I do want to tell you that when I got these, the corners are not nicely turned out. They're not nice and square. They kind of came, you know, kind of mushed out. So you might want to turn the corner a little bit better than what those were. These I've turned out a little bit more. The fabric is quite coarse, and so this is never going to make a perfectly square corner, but you can make it better than it is. Anyway, I'm going to paint this, so again, we'll play around with that at some point. And here are the aunties on a pouch, on a pencil bag, or pen, or whatever. Thanks, Annette. Again, with a nice big tag to use in your junk journal. I'll be cutting that out. Yeah, I'll be cutting that out. Anyway, there's the pouch, and there's the reverse side of the Charlie pouch, and the reverse side of the aunties. So if you too need to have your own goofy relatives, you can put something over this and, you know, put a piece of fabric or something over that and put your own name there for your goofy relatives. And look at this. I know. The funny thing is, the other day, Clausman says, well, is Muppet on anything? Something like that. I probably wasn't quite as sad as I just made it sound. Hi, Sharon. The tag inside is just redunculous. Anyway, so here she is. This is Muppet, complete with her little earrings and her necklace. She's straight from the front of my journal. And other than that, she's straight from the couch because that's where she spends most of her day, on the couch. So anyway, there is the Muppet. This is a kind of a canvas type fabric. And again, I'm going to try painting it or doing something with it. So all of these, the animal images, are part of the creative challenge. Okay? Part of the creative challenge. You'll find the link to that information in the description box below the video. Okay. Hi, Angie. You like the Muppet? Yes. So there is the Muppet. It does have an invisible zipper at the bottom, so I think I can yank the pillow out. It has its own covered pillow. Take it out, and then I can get to the pillowcase so that I can actually do something with it. Okay, so there's an example of the pillow. This one is a 16-inch. Okay. Joycey's glad. Yes, I know. Angie painted the two kitties, and she's working on Muppet. Oh, cool. That's great. That is great. And then here's the tote bag, so you can see an example of the tote bag. I am so jazzed about the tote bag because it does not show very well online. It is so nice and big. It has long handles. When I go places, I like to throw the handles over my shoulder, and so the handles are long enough I can do that. And it's a nice big tote bag, and it's nice quality, and it has a pocket in there. I had no idea what these were going to be like, so I had to order a bunch of stuff just so I could see. So there is the pocket inside. It's a snap pocket. I think you have to be a little careful with that because it's only the snap is only through, the back side of the snap is only through one layer of fabric. So I think I would be careful with that. This one is through a doubled layer, but I would be careful that you don't just rip that too much. Probably I would leave it open myself. So there is that, and all of the animals are available on, with either, the bag is available with any of the 3 images. So anyway, there is the back. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about the challenge just briefly. The creative challenge, you can purchase something through the merchandise store, like the tote bag. If you want to use that, you can purchase something and alter it. This is a challenge. It is not a contest. Or you can go to the link that is coming up in it's coming up in the chat, I believe. Or let's see. I think it's coming up in the chat, or you'll find it in the description box below the video. Here's the thing. Even if you get something like a tote bag that you're going to do your challenge on, if you want to be part of the live event that we're going to do, event sounds a little classier than it really is. It's just a live get-together, show and share kind of thing. You have to go to the website and you have to download the images, okay? Because that's what puts you on the mailing list, the email list, so that we can get the link to you. So whether you buy something or not, you don't have to buy anything. There's no requirement. You can go straight to the website. You can download the images. You get all 3 images in one download. Or you can buy something. You can do something on that. But if you want to be part of the live deal, you still have to go download the images, so we have your email address to send you the link. Okay? Hey, Alicia. All right. Yeah, postage is prohibitive. It's ridiculous. The postage, international postage, is totally stupid crazy. There's no getting around it, no denying it. Stupid crazy. Stupid crazy. I have no control over it. I can just agree with you. It's stupid crazy. But you can get Dorothy, you can get the images for free. So you don't have to get the merchandise. If you want to participate, it's fine. The reason I'm making a big deal out of this is we're going to do 2 get-togethers, okay? 2 live get-togethers. They'll probably run an hour and a half long. I will cut it off probably an hour and a half max. And during that time, you can either work on your project, you can show what you've been doing, you can ask me questions, you can do any of that sort of thing. It will be done over Zoom, because we've used Zoom for quite a few years, and it works really well for us. But they're going to be Sunday, December 6th and Sunday, December 17th at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern, Sunday afternoon. Okay, there's going to be 2 of them. You can do both. You can do one. It's totally up to you. Okay, VIP members, you will automatically get the information. Okay. If you don't have a webcam, can we still be? Yes. If you don't have a webcam, you can still participate in the Zoom. You don't have to have a webcam. Yeah, you can still participate. There's a chat feature, so you can chat. Yeah. If you choose not to be on camera, it's perfectly fine. Whether you have even if you have a webcam, you go, don't want to be on camera. That's fine. You can also participate audio-wise. So you don't have to you're in charge of doing it the way you like. Okay? All right. So there is no charge for any, okay, listen to me really clearly. There is no charge for any of that. You can get the downloads for free. You can come to the 2 Zoom show and shares for free. There is no charge for anything. Why am I doing this? First of all, because I am grateful for this opportunity. I am grateful to share this time with you. I am happy to do something that gives back to each and every one of you, because you give me so much. Okay? So there you go. But you have to go. I can't say this clearly enough. You have to go do the download. And the challenge is going to go through the end of December. We have some people sending in their pictures of what they've done. Fantastic. So much fun. You guys are going to love it. And during one of the streams, probably not New Year's Day, but the one after that is probably when we're going to do a slideshow and show everybody's things that they did. Okay? All right. So there's that. If you have any questions, you can always go to HowToGetCreative.com and fill out a support ticket. You can leave me a comment on this video with your question or whatever. So there's that. Okay? All right. So, thanks, Kathy. Very sweet. It is my pleasure. I enjoy being here. Now, having said all that, if you would like to become a member of HowToGetCreative.com, please do that. Please come over there and join the membership. And the best deal going is a VIP membership, I'll tell you, because there's VIP members here. They can talk about it. Anyway, it's hard to blow your own horn. You know what I mean? It is. Let's play with this, shall we? Let's play with this. So what I've done is actually Clausman did this for me. He took a mailbox, priority mailbox, and covered it with a plastic trash bag. And that's going to protect the inside. It's going to protect the tote bag from whatever I do going all the way through. That's the theory. That's the theory. All right, so what I've done, and I don't know if this is going to work. You know what? I don't know if this is going to work. And here's the thing. If it doesn't work, I'll do something different. As I say over and over again, there's always black gesso. If it doesn't work, just get out the black gesso and just black gesso over the whole thing and start over. So if this doesn't work, we don't care. Okay? We don't care. So what I have done, oh wait, I didn't show you this. I forgot to show you. I finished the art journal, the page we'd been working on for a couple of weeks. So here is the page once it was finished. And this is the one that we worked on. And so the purpose of this that I wanted to show you is you can take the image of whoever, Chance, Charlie, Muppet, even any of the three, you can take that image and feel free to change it, as in add a scarf and a hat. You know, you can do what you want, right? And so here is the journal page that's finished. So we painted this together, and then I went back and I polka dotted him up. Okay, so I polka dotted him up. And then I decided that I wanted something to carry the polka dot theme. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. I'm showing you and you guys aren't even able to see it. So sorry. Yeah, I'm talking to you instead of showing you. Anyway, I polka dotted him up as I tried to tell you 1 minute ago when I wasn't even showing it to you. Oh, yes. Different sizes of polka dots and so forth and so on. And then I also went back and added some sketchy outlines around. Okay? So, sketchy outlines. So this is Charlie. But what I wanted you to see is that if you have one of the images, whichever one you have, if you want to alter it in some way, put a hat, put a scarf, you know, put dancing shoes and give him a cane. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Chicken pox. It must be monkey pox. Hi, Blue Mini 13. So when I got him finished, I decided I wanted to put some polka dots in the background. So what I did was I cut out the pattern. I cut it out pretty carefully, and then I just laid it on top of the artwork. The painting and stuff was completely dry, so I just laid it on top like this. And you can see it's not exact, but it's close enough. And then I laid a big stencil on top of it and stenciled some light colored orange polka dots in the background, just so that I had something back there that kind of went with the rest of it. Okay? So there is that. So I just wanted you to see how he turned out. Okay, now back to this. So what I'm going to try, actually I saw this product in Hobby Lobby the other day. I shouldn't admit this. I'm going to tell you a secret. It's not very secret, really. I'm not really fond of Mod Podge as a regular product. I know a lot of people just love it. Absolutely love it. It's not my favorite. Although they do have lots of different kinds. And what I don't like about it personally is the smell. And sometimes it leaves your pages kind of sticky in humidity and so forth. However, I found this one. It's fabric Mod Podge. And I think it's actually supposed to be for gluing fabrics together or something. Anyway, I thought we'd try it for this, just because I keep trying to like the thing. I keep trying to like it. So he is bigger than, he's a little bit bigger than the actual download, or the way that I drew it. It's bigger on the tote bag. So what I did is I took a piece of tissue paper, or tissue tracing paper, and I just traced over it so that I had the right size image. And then I made some copies of it. Okay, so I made some copies just using my inkjet printer, but it didn't get all of it, you know, so I put some arrows on there, and I ended up extending it to make it as big as he is. And then I cut him out, because all I wanted was the outline of the cat. And I can see here that I've got it too long on one side, so we're gonna cut it off. This is one of those things where, you know, measure twice, cut once, or as Clausman is fond of saying, cut it off twice and it's still too short. Well, we'll see. We'll see how I did this time. Did I get about the right? Looks like I got close to the right length. Still a little bit long on this one side. I'm going to cut it off one more time. I'm trying to get it the right size so that I can use this as a pattern. And as I said, we'll see how this works out. Sometimes my ideas that I come up with are, you know, I come up with them in my sleep. I know nobody else does that. Yeah, it may be just perfect. And then sometimes they don't work, you know. So here's what I thought we would do. Is I have some tissue paper that, I don't know, it's wrapping paper. You know, it's like paper to stuff inside a gift bag or something. So let's see how this works, shall we? Let's see how this works. All right. So I'm going to turn it around on the back side because it's going to be easier for us to see. And it's kind of wrinkly, so let's see if we can find the smoothest section of this tissue paper. This is about the smoothest section. Okay, so the right side is down here, so I have to put the right side down on this. Okay. Now we're going to see if we can make this show up. I'm going to use a friction pin. I don't know. Let's see if it'll show up. See if you guys can see it. Kind of, but not so much. That's okay. I can see it, and that's what matters here at the moment. This is just copy paper, and I'm just going around the outside of this. Okay, everybody keep your fingers and toes crossed if this works. So I don't have to get out the black gesso, okay? Keep your fingers and toes crossed, so we don't have to get out the black gesso. And I made several copies of this, just cause. This is truly going to be mixed media kind of piece, I think. All right. Can you see that? Hey, Shoe. Can you see that, sort of? All right. Let me just whack this out. I figure with enough paint and enough trims and bedazzling, we can make it work, don't you think? Oh, so far I'm holding in here, people. So far I'm holding up. When I started out the stream, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to make it an hour today. I think the caffeine must have kicked in. I don't know if Mariotier is still here. She normally streams on Friday night at 7:30 Central, which is 8:30 Eastern. You know, sometimes you have a brain fart and you're like, oh, what time is the time conversion? I had to laugh. Lena, whom I've talked about several times, Miss Linux, what is it, 2010? I don't know that I've got her name right. She's in Denmark. And I don't know who it was, sent her the funniest character, and it had the words, had the letters art on it. She said, I saw her say she was going to look for an F so she could add the F on it. I just thought that was funny. It was the funniest little character. It was a cloth stuffed character. Maybe it's somebody that I should know who the character is, but I don't. Anyway, I'm rattling. I know I'm rattling. One of the hardest parts about some kinds of creative projects, you have to pay attention to what you're doing, but you feel this compulsion to fill the airspace with chatter, which gets me in trouble sometimes because I get my mouth open and I can't get it closed, so I'll start talking about stuff that I should not talk about. Okay, we're through the worst part. Okay, anybody want to take bets on whether this is going to work? What do you think? You think it's going to work? Tell me now, what do you think? Sometimes when I say that, I've already tried something, and I know it's going to work. This is not one of those. This is not one of those. Yeah, Laura, I understand. Okay, so this pen I'm using is a friction pen. Okay. And so you can use your heat gun. And heat away the lines. And I had somebody get all over me one time on a stream, not on the stream, it was a comment after the stream, that told me, well, you should not do that because cold weather will bring the lines back. So I did some research on that, and I marked all over some stuff, took the lines off with heat, and then I could not get the lines to come back, so I put the thing, whatever it was, in the freezer. And sure enough, the lines came back in the freezer. So here's my caveat to you. Here's my caveat to you. If you're going to store your artwork in the freezer, don't use friction pins on it. Okay? Public service announcement. If you're going to store your artwork in the freezer, do not use friction pins. All right, there's a number of votes saying that it's going to work. We're about to find out. We're about to find out if this will work. Okay, friction pins, by the way, you just get these in an office supply store. They also sell them. The friction pins are also sold in many quilting shops. They're just friction pins. They do have an eraser on one end, so you can erase lines away, but heat takes them away quicker. And by the way, if you have these, this is how you operate them. This thing right here, the holder part, that is what exposes the ink cartridge. Okay. I want you to know how long I spent trying to figure out what was wrong with these pens when I first got them. I could not figure out how to make them work. And then when you discover that that's what it is, it's like, you know, the emoji like this? That's what you feel like doing to yourself. Like, oh, yes. Yes, you have to thaw out your journal. Yes, you do, Laura. Yes, you have to thaw out your journal. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I've already opened this bottle of Mod Podge, whatever it is, tissue, fabric, tissue, Tella. That's quite a name. Fabric, tissue, Tella. I don't know what that means. It doesn't matter. I'm going to put some water in this container, this ugly, nasty container. People have good intentions most of the time, and sometimes they're just mean. You know what I mean? Oh, you just can't worry about it. All right, paper towel at the ready. Open the Mod Podge. I opened it already, so it should be good to go. All right, I'm going to take this off. Probably will regret this, but I'm going to take it off anyway. I'm going to throw this out. Yes, there was a little bit of Mod Podge on it. Not going to worry about saving that. Okay, here we go. Let's try it. So I'm dampening the brush. Okay, dampen the brush like this. And then I'm going to use this nasty board that has a craft mat on it. I'm going to add a coat of, oh, it's kind of thick. It's thickish. All right, we'll see how this goes. I don't know. We'll find out. It's quite thick, much thicker than I expected it to be. This is tissue paper. It's slightly stronger than paper napkin. I don't know. We're going to find out. This is a big experiment, you guys. This is a big experiment. Yeah. Ugh. Does smell. same problem I have with the regular stuff. Anyway, all right, let's see if this is going to peel up. Okay. All right, we're going to see if we can do this. I'm going to add some to part of him. If this works, I'm going to be so surprised and so happy. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm cracking myself up over here. It's like, can this possibly work? I don't know. Okay. All right, I'm just going to put this on some of this. Okay, I'm not going to try to do the whole thing in one go. Even I'm not that brave. All right, let's see. Hold your breath, everybody. Hold your breath. Okay. Oops. All right. Nope. Listen, tell yourself you made a satin pillowcase. You can do this. All right, we're going to have some wrinklage. I'm feeling better. I'm breathing a little bit easier. You guys holding your breath? You better have your fingers and toes crossed. I need all the help I can get here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm too busy concentrating to pay attention to the cameras or the chat or anything else right now. Okay. Whew! Look at that, people. It went down. Okay. No. Alicia's holding her breath. Thank you. It helped. It helped. All right. Lightly, I'm going to lightly squidgy over this, otherwise known as squeegee. And I'm going to put a little more down here because it needs a little more gluage. Okay. Not bad, people. Not bad. Look. Look. I think, okay. All right. Does anybody here think that's cute? I think it's adorable. And now that it's worked, I think it's even more adorable. I think it's so funny. Okay. So we're going to put a coat on the top. I don't know. Let's see. Again, hopefully this is going to work. I'm surprised at how thick this is. Oh, it looks like the pink is running a little bit. Well, it's going to tint him pink a little bit. Looks like the dye in the tissue paper is activating a little bit. Well, he'll be a calico. He'll be a calico Siamese. Calico Blue Point. Don't anybody tell Chance that I did this to him, because he would be highly offended, I'm sure. Don't you think he would be highly offended to know that I spotted him? Yeah, it's activating the dye in the tissue paper. So can't get too wild brushing it too far outside the tissue paper. Ugh. What a smell. Clearly, I will never get sponsored by Mod Podge. Okay. I probably could have just used any kind of glue to do this, but I just decided I would try that and see what we thought. Yeah, see, it's activating the pink. Can you see that? Activating the pink. Not a lot, but a little bit. Okay, we're going to put this away because it's not my favorite smell. All right, where's the lid? Oh dear, here it is. Looks like a cheetah. No, wait, don't tell him. Don't tell him. I'm not kidding, don't tell him. Don't tell him. Punk rock chance. Okay. Let's hit it with a little bit of heat and see what happens, shall we? And then I'm going to cut out his necktie. And I have, this is from the same set of tissue papers. I thought that might be fun for the necktie. Do you think that's cute? You don't like it either? I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's quite sticky on my hands, too. I feel like I've got a little bit of a bubble here. This is probably where I'm going to get in trouble. I need to leave it alone. Don't touch it. There's a little bit of a bubble there. Sometimes, you know, you just can't resist putting your hands in something. It's going to be interesting to see how this works. Okay. So, what do you think? Do you think this is good for his necktie? You think this is good for his necktie? I'll look and see what else I have. But I have that, which I think could be kind of funny. I thought about doing him in this just because I thought it would be funny. You know, a cat body made of cats. But I decided he'd rather be a Spotty instead. Look, I have pink polka dots. We don't want to do that. You like that for the necktie? I'm just digging through my bags of tissue paper. Ooh, we have gold. We could give him a gold necktie. I don't know that gold... I don't think gold really goes with that. Do you? I don't think so. Let's do this one. Okay, I'm going to put him over here, and we'll see if we can do the necktie. Whoops, don't do that. I'm going to set him right down in the middle of that glue over there. Well, I can see that there's some parts of that I'm going to have to wait till it dries and then add some more glue to it. Like, let's see, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? See that? So we'll have to glue that down again. See that? So much for glue and sealer. Anyway, stop complaining, Barb. Stop complaining. So, from another copy, I'm going to cut out his necktie. And this way, I don't know that it's going to make any difference, but that way is up. Hi, Katie. Hi, Beth. Marilyn's got her legs crossed. I don't think that's the same kind of crossing that I was talking about, but I was really talking about like fingers and stuff like that, Marilyn, but hey, whatever. Whatever, right? Okay, so let's put this on here. I'm going to try to pick a spot that doesn't have a bunch of wrinklage to start with. Let's come over here. There's always, got to cut it out all the way first. There's always tacky glue to straighten out any kind of screw up, and then I can always come over the top of it with a different kind of sealer if this stuff doesn't dry out. Because I've not used it before. How many times have I said that? It is staying sticky on my skin a little bit. But it said it was a sealer, right? Water-based sealer glue finish. That means it's meant to go over the top of things. Oh, who knows? Although it was only $8 for that container, so. So anyway, who here uses Mod Podge and likes it? Tell me what your experience is, because I know some people, there are a lot of people that really like it and swear by it and buy it by the gallon. I've just never been one of those people. It's probably the area I live in, which tends to be pretty humid. Not as humid as like Florida, but still pretty humid. Think this is really going to bleed? It could. It could. If it does, we'll go, well, we wish that hadn't happened, won't we? I put on my big girl panties before I started today. My brave big girl panties. All right, so let's cut this out. See how it goes. If it doesn't go well, it doesn't go well. We ain't scared. We ain't scared of nothing. No, we're not. We ain't scared. Can't scare me. I'm the gingerbread girl. Linda likes Matt Mod Podge. I like Mod Paget. Noit doesn't like it. Joan doesn't like it. You know, it's so funny. It's so funny. But I think it's like any art product. You know, you find what you like. Now, here's the bad part about that. It takes a while before you find the stuff that you personally like, which means you got to kiss a lot of frogs before you find the prince. So I can tell you what I like or what works for me, and I've learned, even though I do in classes and stuff, I do discuss products and, you know, give brand names and stuff like that. The only reason I do that is because that specific product has worked for me. But you might need to find a substitute. Or you might have a different preference. Clear gesso is one of those things. Clear gesso from one brand to the next varies quite a lot. Some of them are incredibly gritty. Some of them are smooth. Some of them are artist quality. Some of them are student quality. Some of them are crap quality. Okay, so pin marks are removed. All right, let's see which way is up here. I think it's this way. Yeah, okay, that's the up. Hey, Becky. Don't cross your eyes. No, it's not good to cross your eyes, people. Don't cross your eyes. No matter what I said, don't cross your eyes. Okay. So, let me get my brush out of the water. See, I've been talking too much. Now my throat's gonna go wonkers. Alright, let's put a little glue under here and see if we can get this to stick down. Every place else seems like it's stuck down pretty well. All right. All right, let's see what happens with this little bow tie. So, I do not have enough table space here today for this big tote bag. So we're going to put glue. It also seems to have some hunks. All right, before you stick down, come up now, come on. Not enough table space today. Okay, whew. Tell you, I need to have more space and have more hands. All right, let's see what happens here. Adding a little more glue. Okay, time to cross your fingers and toes again, folks. Get it unstuck from my fingers. Looks like we have a bow tie. Whew! Tell you. All right, now let's see if we can add a coat of sealer without making too big a mess. Ugh. Rave reviews, I'm not giving it yet. I don't know. Rave reviews are not coming in. Yeah, glue boogers is right. It's a little boogery kind of thing. I just can't imagine that this is going to last forever, but you know, it could absolutely prove me to be full beans. And maybe some beans and weenies. You never know. Might be just perfect. Okay. Oh, it's kind of cute. What do you think? You guys like it? Yarn or string for the glasses? I was thinking I'd paint the glasses. I think I have a better shot at being, actually that would be cute though. Yarn or string. I wonder if I have some yarn I could put in there. Because I could use tacky glue, or I do have fabric glue. Tacky glue would work. If you guys are game, I'll go dig in my, I should probably paint the eyes first. It's very shiny. I don't know. What's it say? For use on fabric on fabric projects. So we violated the first direction because we use paper on fabric. Apply with the brush or spin. See, now I'm reading the directions. Machine washable in cold water after 72 hours. Well, this is not going to get washed. Doesn't say anything else. So I don't know if it's going to dry with a... Looks like it's going to dry shiny. I don't know. We're going to find out. No, he is just being his own kind of cat in this image. He's going to be his own kind of cat. He's going to be his own kind of cat. It's quite sticky. I wonder if I can paint on top of it with it being kind of sticky. What do you think? That's right, Chris, right? You just read the directions later. Go for it and then read the directions. Do any of you watch Arna and Carlos? They're Norwegian guys that do have a knitting podcast, and they design knitwear and all kinds of other things too. They were doing their podcast on Wednesday. They were using one of those little spool knitting devices, you know, the crank on it. We used to do it with a spool and nails in the end of it, and then you would spool knit. Well, this had a, yeah, sit and knit for a bit, right? That's what it is. And they were using a tool which had a crank on it, which is not new, by the way. Back when I had my machine knitting store, we had those little devices. And that was back in the late 80s when I had my store. And so anyway, they'd bought one of those to make the tail for their knitted mouse. His name is Magnus. And it was so funny because Arna does not read instructions, apparently. And Carlos, that's the first thing he was going to do, is read the directions. and Arna's like, give me that thing. You read the directions, I'll just figure it out. So, anyway, it is sticky. All right, you think we can paint it? Let it lift and dry, right? Lift and dry. Right now, the monster is trapped between the fabric and the plastic. Yeah, spool of nails. Hi, Jean. It's supposed to be matte. This is anything but matte. Of course, it's on paper. It could be, you know. I can't complain because I'm not using it the way they said to use it. You know, you can't complain. When you push it, when you push the envelope, so to speak, you can't bitch and complain. You can, but you don't have a reason to. Okay, somewhere here I have fabric markers. Let's see where they are. See if I can unearth them. All right, here they are. Okay. First of all, let's color in Chance's letters. Oh, you guys, who knows how this is going to turn out. I hope you don't care, because don't anybody get wigged out about whether this works or not. It doesn't matter. Yeah. How many people we have here today? Somebody tell me how many people we have. I know there's a lot of stuff going on today, so it's anybody's guess whether anybody's here or not. I mean, I know the important people are here. The important people are here. Hey, Brooke. Oh, a lot of people with nothing to do today. I thought you guys would all be shopping. You guys would all be shopping. Beth, how are you doing? Yep, the download comes with all three. That is correct. And if you want to participate in the live sessions, you do have to do the download. Even if you buy something from the merchandise store, you still have to do the download, because that's how we get your, we're able to get the contact or the link information to you. All right, so I don't know. It's not quite as sticky as it was. Not as bad as it was. Okay, let's go. Here, has anybody used this? Have any of you in here used this before? Tell me if you have. You're doing great, Beth. Oh, good. No shopping on Black Friday. Got you. Tell me if anybody here has used this. Hey, Tracy Dean. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, let's do Chance here. Since we have made him pink, we're changing him to a pink kitty cat. Maybe we'll do these colors. Just see what happens. Brooke hasn't used it. Tracy hasn't used it. Oh, so I see how this is going to go. You guys are going to make me do it. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm using stained markers. Maybe you want to see a little closer, huh? I see how it is. You guys want to see how I'm going to do with this. Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. These are stained fabric markers by Sharpie. Now, fabric markers, like some other things with fabric, are famous for wicking outside the area that you want them to be in. So you kind of have to live a little dangerously here. You kind of have to be a little okay with the results, you know. And that looks really, really dark, doesn't it? Doesn't matter. We're going to just roll with the punches. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a rotation here of colors. Ooh, that's pink. Great day in the morning, that is. Bright. Well, it kind of goes with him, doesn't it? Or her. Maybe we'll change Chance to a her. Chance is kind of a nondescript kind of name, so Chance could be whatever. Okay, so let's go to blue. So far these seem like they're not wicking too much outside the place, although I'm not pushing real hard either, so there is that. And these are a block letter with like a 3D effect. So maybe we'll add another color on them. That could be fun. Okay. Let's see. Should we do another color? Use purple, then pink, then blue. Nah, we'll just rotate. Yeah, we'll just we'll just, yeah, let's do pink. Let's do pink just because the image is pink. Clearly, I'm not watching the chat at the moment. Okay, and then, all right, let's do blue. Sorry about the throat. That is what happens when I talk nonstop, is after a little bit, my throat just goes, okay, and you're done talking. Sometimes at night, my throat goes to sleep. And it's like, nope, you're not talking anymore tonight. You're done. It's one of the reasons I don't stream late at night, which I used to do. Okay, so we have a blue one, we have purple, we have pink. Let's just put another pink out here, because we can. Because we can! Yep, because we can. That's kind of cute. All right. Dry that a little bit. Bye, Dana. All right. It needs to dry before I do this to it. It really needs to dry before I do this. Oh, but where is the excitement in that, right? Where's the excitement in that? Okay, so the pupils in his eyes need to be black, so let's just go for it. Let's see if this is gonna... Ooh, it's very wet. It's very wet. So I've been working on the Beyond Mandala Madness course, creating some additional mandalas for the course. And that is so wet. Whew. Don't touch it, Barb. Don't touch it, whatever you do. All right, we're going to turn around here and see if we can keep our collective hand out of that. Can you see how wet that is? Don't touch it anymore. Goodness sakes. And I'm barely touching the surface. So I have all the video updated for Beyond Mandala Madness, and I'm now recording the additional classes that will be included. And so that's where I am on that. It says, hello, my name is Chance. Okay, let's give him a pink. What, pink? No. What color should we do his nose? Can I have a brown? I thought the stained markers came with brown. Apparently not. Okay, I have brown in this. We'll see how this works. This is a tulip fabric marker. Let's give him a brown nose. Because he's a brown noser. Well, the stained markers certainly are heavier than this. I think I should have used paint. I was really hoping markers would work. Maybe have a second coat, huh? Look at that little nose. That's funny. Oh well. Might have to do another coat. Let's see if we can. This could go horribly wrong at any point here. I'm just coloring in the other areas on the letters, which you may not be able to see, just to give it a little more. Regular Sharpie on this probably would work, not on this, but probably on this it would work. I'm going to guess it would work, but who really knows, because we're making it up as we go here. You're getting to see how things happen in my world, which is, I wonder if, and then you go for it. Did Race ever show up today, or does he said he was going to be here. I bet he's off gallivanting. He sent me a picture of a wreath that he put on their house. Oh my goodness. It was the biggest wreath. He said, and I quote, "I haven't seen a wreath this big unless it was at the mall." It's huge. He had to make a thing, he called it make a thing, a pulley of some kind, to pull this thing from the ground up, because it was like up in the attic area over a window, and the went into the attic. It's crazy. Like, holy moly. Yeah, so he made a thing to do that. He had to make a thing, he said. Yeah, it was really pretty. It was Christmas lights have come a long way, you know. This one had a programmable like remote control and everything. It is still wet in there. We're not going to touch that. Okay, what color? Let's do his glasses in some color. Orange, red. Now the color is going to show differently on the canvas than it is on the image. So we're just going to just have to go for it. What color do you think we should try? Somebody tell me. What do you think? Blue and purple. I know, Angie. I know. Barbara says contrast. Okay, so I'm going to give you a choice. We already know. I think the stained markers are going to come off and be really, really dark. That's okay. That's what I have. What else do I have? That's what I got. That's what I'm going to use. Okay? That's what I'm going to use. Okay, blue or purple? Beth is changing to purple. What about gold? The gold is kind of an old gold color. It's not really bright. Purple. All right. Shall we do purple? Purple it is. All right, let's go for purple. Let's go for purple. Let's see what happens. Let's go for purple and see what happens. It's going to be really dark out here on the canvas. I wonder if that black is any kind of dry. Nope. See that? It's like, nope. It's going to be from here until next week before that dries. Oi, 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 oi. Do I think this is going to work? Or do I get out the... You know what? I think we're going to get a brush. We're going to get away from the markers. Step away from the markers. I think we're going to get a brush and some paint. All right. Do I have purple? Yes. All right. Let's do that. Shall we? We shall. Okay. Let me go get some fresh water because I know this other one is full of Mod Podge stuff. So everybody look at the side, pardon me, the sideways cat. I shall be right back. Oh, I've been sitting too long. Oh my goodness. I stood most of yesterday because I was fixing Thanksgiving stuff. And so today my hips are like, what are you doing, girl? What are you doing? Okay, so this is purple. Purple. African violet to be exact. Well, you see, I'm limited to the colors that I have. So let's see what this does, shall we? Let's see what this does. Okay, let's go with a different brush here. I'm going to go with a little flat brush, little tiny flat brush. Okay, wish me luck. Here we go. Everybody cross your toes and your fingers again that this works. I will come back eventually and outline things to re-emphasize all the detail. At least that's my thought process today. So I'm just working off of a disposable palette. And that's what I'm doing with a little tiny brush. Went a wee bit outside the line there because I wasn't paying attention. He's not going to care. If you have enough confidence in yourself to dress like this, to dress yourself in pink, leopard, or cheetah, or whatever this fabric pattern is, then you don't care if you go outside the lines a little bit. And I don't think I can get that back off, but let's try. Let's try. Oh, well, yeah, I can. Okay, just skinnied it up a little bit because I got a little too exuberant with the paintbrush there, not paying attention. All right, keep your hands out of things here. Remember what's wet, Barb. Remember what's wet. You think purple is it? Think it's okay? Hello, I'm going to take a guess. Simonetta? Marilyn says yes. Okay, Marilyn says it works. If Marilyn says it works, it must be working. This is probably going to take till next year for this to dry. Goodness gracious. Whose idea was this? Yeah, it was mine, wasn't it? You might have to have gold spots on these glasses frames. What do you think? Because the gold will show up on top of the purple, I think. You're looking good, man. You're looking good. I think his nose is going to have a little attention, though. Yeah. I like doing stuff like this where you just really don't know how it's going to come out. Next year is pretty close. Well, maybe that was maybe I misspoke. Maybe I misspoke. Gave myself not enough time. What time is it in Italy? Man, I got out so much paint. I must have thought I was going to paint the side of a barn or something, judging from the amount of paint that I got out. I think he's cute, personally. I think he's cute. I should have just painted out of the lid of the bottle. It used to make me laugh when I would see people paint from the tube of paint. You know, they wouldn't even squirt it on a palette. They would just pick up the paint with the brush straight out of the tube. I can kind of understand that now. As a decorative painter, back in the day with oil paints, man, you would never do that. Oh, perish the thought. Because everything had to be mixed. All the colors had to be mixed. You couldn't. I don't know why, but we never ever used a color straight out of a tube. There were no such things as paints in bottles at that point that anybody worked with. Any self-respecting artist would never paint from a bottle of paint. Well, I'd do it in a heartbeat now, because they make such a great line of colors that you don't have to mix all your colors now. There she goes, rattling again. All right, let's see if I can manage to move this around just a little bit more. Trying to get my palette where I can get to it, but allow you to see what I'm doing here. What time is it? 3:10 here. Oh, I asked Simonetta what time it was there, and then I didn't look at the chat. As soon as I get done with this, I'm going to check the chat. I think he's funny. You think he's funny? Okay. 10:07 p.m. Wow. No worries, Simonetta. No worries. I hope I'm saying your name right. Is Tara here? B&D Crafts and More. I don't recognize your name, but welcome. I just happened to look up and see your name there. Welcome, welcome. Who is Tara? Oh, there's Tara. I see Tara. Tara or Tara. I never know. I never know. Okay, I think he's funny. Okay, let's find something to do his nose a little bit better, shall we? And then I have some blue for his eyeballs, or turquoise. Okay, eye color. Which one do you want? You guys tell me which color. Simoneta. Simoneta? I guess that would make sense. Simoneta. Does that sound right? I don't know if I'm getting... that's Brian. Okay, hi Brian. Simoneta. I'm not sure if I'm getting the emphasis on the right syllable. Aqua, aqua, aqua. This one. This is the turquoise. I don't have green. Do I? I have this. Yeah, I have this green. I have lime or turquoise. What do you think? Simoneta, you'll probably have to tell me again another day because I might not remember. Turquoise. Okay, turquoise. Okay, the turquoise is when... Ooh, that black is really wet. Golly, that's wet. That is crazy. That is crazy how wet that is. I'm probably going to regret this decision. Actually, don't you hate it when somebody says that? I'm probably going to hate myself for this. Okay. However, I really don't want to wait until a year from next Tuesday for this to get dry. So we're going to remove it. We're just going to remove it. Now, don't anybody get freaked out. I know it looks ugly, but we're going to take care of it in a minute, okay? No freaking out allowed. It was just a big fat mistake to use that marker in there. Big fat mistake. It happens. Sometimes it happens where you make a big fat mistake. Oops, don't touch it. Don't touch. When you make a mistake, you got to figure a way out of the mistake. It wasn't really a mistake. I just didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what the result was going to be. It was a terrible result. That's what it was. It was terrible. Aren't you glad we can make a different choice? Making a different choice. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do, now for my next trick, I'm going to see. Let's see. I'm going to get some white paint. It's truly going to be mixed media. Bye, Marilyn. This is truly going to be mixed media because this is craft paint, which is not cooperating at the moment. So hold the phone. I got to attend a big nasty thing that was in my paint container. All right, now let me get some paint in the lid. And what I'm using is outdoor gloss. It's truly mixed media. We're going to put some white paint on here. Oh, if this turns out as well as it is in my head, it's going to be really fun. If it doesn't, we'll always wish it did. It's like, you know, that idea Barb had that she thought was going to be so good? It's too bad it didn't work. This is going to take multiple coats, but that's okay. What do we have? Time. We have time. And you're all going to be relieved to know that we're not going to paint this to completion. Sorry, I can't talk and do this. Whew-wee. Too much holding my breath over here. Okay, don't touch it. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. Another coat after that dries should, in a perfect world, smooth out that white. But where else do you have to be today besides being here, holding your breath with me? Okay, we're going to call that good. We'll have to let it dry, give it another coat, but we'll at least kind of get things kind of put together here so it's sort of, so he has some eyeballs, because right now he's looking nowhere. Hi, Ann. Oh, you're learning a lot. I bet you are, Ann. I bet you're learning what you don't want to do. Oh, Barb did that. I don't think that's a good idea. Let's get some more. Shaking up my paint here. Okay, let's go again. All right, this is the turquoise fabric paint. So let's see how this works, huh? Oh dear, it's always good if you let white dry before you come do something else, but we don't have the luxury of just letting it dry, otherwise we'd be here forever. Let's just go for it. One of my favorite things about what I get to do in my life is figuring things out. Honestly, that is my favorite thing in the whole world, is figuring stuff out. In fact, that's one reason it's so hard for me to finish things because when I can, once I've figured it out, whatever it is, trying to make sure I don't have too much paint on my hands, and I can see the end result because I've figured out whatever it was I was working on, it's hard for me to finish it up because I already have figured out how it's going to work. You know, I see the end. The end is in sight. I can see it, and then it's like finishing things up. I just have to power through. I bet there's a couple of other people that are like that. Some people just really like to see the whole, you know, want the end result, the satisfaction of the end product. That's not me. Can't tell you how many sweaters I had that had the back, a cardigan sweater, for example, the back, one front, and one sleeve. Yeah. Until I learned how to knit two sleeves at the same time or both fronts at the same time. Then I could finally get a sweater done. Yeah. Boy. And the more complicated the pattern, the better I liked it. Okay, I need black. Do I have black here? Yes. Okay, good. All right, this is the black fabric paint that I'm using. It's actually called Soft Fabric Ink. I don't know why it's called fabric ink, but that's what it's called. All right, let's paint the pupils back in and hope that this doesn't react against that. Any residue left over from the Sharpie stained marker. I guess you guys have figured out I'm not watching the chat at the moment. And if my head gets in the way, big apologies, but I got to get my nose pretty much right down on the surface so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, that's better. That's better. All right, let's do this one. Definitely sticky. This Mod Podge product is definitely sticky. Maybe it'll dry out over when it gets totally dried and cured. Maybe that will make a difference. Certainly is shiny. There's nothing matte about this. And it was too thick to shake, so, you know, if it was supposed to be shaken up, way too thick for that. I think if I were to do it again, I would just use matte, golden matte medium is probably what I would use instead. Regardless of the fact that it's fabric, because I'm not going to wash it anyway. Okay, let's take a look at him right side up, huh? Okay, he's coming along. The whites of his eyes have to have another coat, but, you know, that's going to have to wait until that's completely dry. I do want to paint his nose one more time. I can knit. I'm not as accomplished as I was at one point. I actually had a machine knitting store. I owned a machine knitting store, but I was a hand knitter first. Okay, nose. I'm looking at my color selection to see what color nose we can put on him. Don't have brown, do I? I do have brown. Okay, let's give him a brown nose. Just because it's too funny. Oop, this is really nasty. Yeah, his bottom lip needs to be painted. I think it's going to wait, however. I think it might wait. Alright, I'm just trying to get this brown paint to mix up. We're getting closer. This is still that fabric ink. Alright. This is the last thing I'm going to do today, is to paint his brown nose. Just because it's too funny. I'll probably come back and paint a few other details. I don't know. But I have to tell you, there's a nap with my name on it calling me. Man, it has got my name written all over it. I've done really well staying awake and chattering. And I haven't done anything too stupid to this yet. There's always time. Yes, that's better. That's better. That is better. I think he's kind of cute. I think he's kind of cute. What do you guys think? I mean, the whites of his eyes are crappy looking, but, you know, that'll clear up with another coat of paint. Get rid of my paint palette off the table. That is worse than illegal fluids on the table by far. All right, let's zoom out so you guys can see progress so far. Pay no attention to the state of his eyes. That'll clear up. But at least now he can kind of look somewhere. I realize that that he doesn't have the white sparkle dot in his eye yet, but he's, we're getting there. You like it? No kidding, No Eat. There's a pillow with your name on it. Yeah, I had a machine knitting store. Okay, I'll tell you about my store, and then we'll call it a day. I bought the existing inventory from a place where I worked. I worked for a Bernina sewing machine store. Worked there a couple of times, actually. Sorry about the throat clearing. I've talked too much. Anyway, I worked for them, and the store had the knitting machine inventory, and that wasn't their thing. And I loved it, so I bought the inventory. Hi, Kathy. I bought the inventory from them, and then eventually, it was about a year later, I think, I opened my own space. And we carried Passip knitting machines, which was a Swiss brand of machine. Beautiful machine, high quality. It was the equivalent of the Bernina sewing machine in the knitting machine world, if you know what I mean. Swiss-made technology, beautiful, beautiful machine. It was a double bed machine, which meant that you could do the ribbing. You didn't have to add a separate attachment onto the machine. You did the ribbing, and you could do color work and all that kind of stuff. It was beautiful, beautiful machinery. We also carried a French machine that was Superba, and then it came into the United States and was rebranded as the white knitting machine. So, yeah, mostly it's just Tara. It's just because I talk too much. I need to stop talking and go rest my throat. So anyway, we had knitting machines, and we had yarn, and we had books, and I did a lot of classes and so forth. And I loved what I did. Loved what I did. And I don't know, somehow it all coincided with the fact that our son was in high school, and, I wasn't ready to stop being a mom, and I either had to expand the store or, do something. In other words, the business had grown enough that I either had to craft a lunch. I had to either expand the store or I had to close it down. And I decided that I needed to be a mom more than I needed to run a business at that point in time. So I closed the store, and it wasn't very long after that, maybe another year or 2 years, the Passip company, which had been in business for years, went out of business. And the whole knitting machine industry and knitting in general the knitting machine industry pretty much died, and the whole hand knitting industry wasn't great. Knitting has come back in a big way now, which is great. And I don't know that knitting machines have come back yet, but hand knitting certainly has. So I got out I got out before all that happened, which I'm very grateful about. And it allowed me to be, to be a mom when it was important for me to be a mom, because I knew that our son was going to be leaving home, and, I didn't want to miss those years. So anyway. Okay, and so that's the rest of that story. I think that's going to do it for us today. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Remember to get your downloads for the Creative Challenge so that you're on the list if you want to participate in the live sessions, which will be on the 6th and the 13th of December. Okay? All right. That is it. I will see you guys next week. Remember to get creative today because you know it's easy. And I will see you before you know it. So everybody stay creative. See you guys later. Bye. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.